You are listening to the Bright Life Podcast, all about ways to stay inspired, chase your dreams, and find more gratitude in the highs and lows of the journey. I'm your host, Jessica Johnson. I'm a business owner, a part-time digital nomad, a self-growth junkie, a believer in other big-hearted women, and am all about sharing tips, tricks, lessons learned, and encouragement so we can all live our biggest, brightest lives. You ready? Let's do this. Welcome to today's episode. This episode I like to affectionately title Invitation to be a Badass in This Situation, because if there is a situation in your life that comes to mind that is kicking your booty and you are like, how do I get around this? How do I figure this out? I want to share something that can hopefully help you, because I have a few of those situations right now. I won't go into like all the specifics, but I have some really big stretch goals in my business, and I feel like I am having to show up a different person to try different things to get there. And so I have been really working through this in my own head, and I know you are as well in some way. So I want you to think about whatever your situation is, and here are some things that have been helping me, and I hope they can help you too. So I was recently listening to an audiobook as I was working out, and this one quote stopped me. It said, "The next time a situation comes up, see it as the illusion it is. Decide the experience you will have of it. Then recreate yourself anew so the experience of it changes to your liking." And when I heard that, I was like, I need to pause my workout. I need to write this down. I need to share this with my friends on the podcast. And so what I love about it is it basically gives you an invitation to take a step back and to view your situation with new eyes. So if there's a situation in your life that feels all-consuming, all-encompassing, you just feel like you are in the thick of it, like the storm, and you cannot see around it, see it as the illusion that it is. See it as the invitation to step into another view of yourself, to almost reach a different level. Kevin Hart was talking with someone, I can't remember who. I was scrolling through social media and I saw him mention that he has started to feel like his life just becomes another level to hack. Like another level, you reach it, you get into it, you get oriented, and you don't really know what skills or mindset or habits you need to get past that level, almost like it's a video game. And so he puts on this feeling and perspective of, I've just got to hack this mindset. I've just got to learn some new skills, some new habits, some new beliefs. There's a way to get beyond this level. And I kind of liked that. And I thought that the quote I shared with you at first is similar, where if you can see the situation you're in as the illusion that it is, instead of something that is holding you down, if you can just look at yourself as separate from it, then you can decide the experience that you will have of it. You can decide who you will be in this situation. And then, as the quote goes, you can recreate yourself anew so the experience of it changes to your liking. So think of that situation that you have. This is what I've been doing in my own life. And decide the experience you would like to have of it. How do you want to come out the other side? Who do you want to become through this situation? If this was all like a video game or an illusion, as the quote goes, stick with the metaphor, then what kind of experience would you like to have of it? How would you like to react to it? How would you like to come out to that next level, come out the other side, as I mentioned? I just think that that can give you such a powerful, more empowered frame where you get to decide who you are in this situation. You get to decide how you show up. You get to decide all the opportunities you have to handle this situation better, to handle it how you want to be someone that you look up to and respect in this situation. And it almost becomes this call, right? Like that you can do this challenging thing. That you can kind of step outside for a second, look at it like it's this puzzle, and decide how you want to show up back in the game, right? Like, what is your next move, and what move does the person that you want to be take in this situation? So I'll read the quote one more time now that we've kind of looked through all the pieces, and maybe something will sound off in your mind as an idea. The next time a situation comes up, see it as the illusion it is. Decide the experience you will have of it, then recreate yourself anew so the experience of it changes to your liking. There's another quote that I love by Dr. Wayne Dyer, and it says, "When you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change." So where I think these quotes kind of relate is that when you decide to show up in a different way, and when you decide the experience that you are going to have of something, all of a sudden the experience shifts, doesn't it? All of a sudden you are able to get a different perspective and a different feeling, and whether the feeling moves from overwhelm to now like inspired to take action, whether it moves from feeling defeated to feeling challenged and excited and energized, whether it moves from feeling lost and confused to determined to figure it out, determined to find one way, whether it moves from scarcity and this feeling of not having enough to seeing all the opportunities and ways that abundance does surround you, and that there are opportunities if only you'll take them, and that there are ways to be resourceful and to find the time or resources or connections or whatever you may need. It just allows you to have a different perspective of the situation and a different perspective of yourself. And that alone can be enough to change the situation and can be enough to change the feeling, right, of it. And then one third quote. So this is like an episode of all my favorite quotes that relate to this one topic, but I just think they can be so inspiring when looked at in this way. If you've never heard this quote, you'll love it. Remember, sometimes not getting what you want is a wonderful stroke of luck. The Dalai Lama says that. And when I think back to past relationships I had, right? Like we've all dated, and thank goodness that those relationships that you or I thought we wanted so badly didn't become the one. I mean, thank goodness, right? Past jobs I didn't get that I thought this was the job for me. I need to have this thing. And now I see why certain things didn't work out to clear the way and kind of redirect me to the things that were meant to. This situation will be the same for you. So if it works out in the way that you are dreaming of now, amazing. If you show up to it with fresh eyes based on our conversation and you become someone else through the experience and you get a different result of it, then amazing. But even if it doesn't show up exactly how you think it will, remember that sometimes not getting what you want exactly how you want it or when you want it is sometimes a wonderful stroke of luck, and sometimes can be redirecting you to the right thing. And so even that, I think, is enough to loosen some of the burden of whatever you are trying to figure out, whatever you're trying to piece together, and can let you show up to it knowing that it's this or something better. It's either going to work out the way that you hope it does, or it might actually be better, right? It might actually be something you can't even see now, and you get what you're dreaming of, but it's in a way that you least expect. And that part of even what you get out of any dream, out of any situation, is who you become through the process. Like you think you want to figure out how to build a business or find the success, but what you really want is who you become in that process, who you become along the way, this successful, confident, capable, fulfilled person, right? Like you think you want the creativity, or you want to write the next screenplay or whatever it may be. What you really want is to be someone who expresses themselves creatively and who shows up and does the work. And that's, you get the gift of the screenplay, but what you really get is who you got to become through the experience. So decide the experience that you will have and recreate yourself anew so the experience of it changes to your liking. I hope this encourages you. I hope something in here lands for you. Send me a DM at Hi Jessica Johnson on Instagram if it does, or share with a friend so more people can find our community and podcast. And thank you so much for making time today. I will see you next week. If this episode resonated with you, I have 2 things you are going to love. One is a Bright Life workbook full of practices you can use to get clear on what your version of your brightest life looks like and fearlessly move towards it every day. And another is a copywriter starter kit full of beginning steps to create a copywriting business that gives you the freedom to travel the world working from anywhere, to replace a corporate salary as your own boss, and to do creative work that lights you up every day. It's lessons I've learned in creating my own content business, and I'm excited to share it with you if you're curious about doing the same. I will link these in the show notes. I hope these serve you. Thank you so much for listening, and I will see you back here next week as we all pursue our biggest, brightest lives together.